It's good to be here with Tom Van Leer, who's known me now for 20 years. I came here as a soldier assigned to the University of Minnesota. I'm actually a Florida boy, and to this day, my 83-year-old grandmother, she just says, "Stay warm, baby." She's kind of figured out I'm not coming back home. But like I told you, I was an Army officer assigned here, and so at 29, this was the first opportunity I had to live in an American city as an adult. Now, that might not seem like much to you, but I left home at 17 to go to college, and college is not real. And then the military certainly is not real. I mean, people get up and clean the streets in the morning. And all people have health care, 100% housing, 30 days vacation, justice, and as the commander, I saw to that, and we take care of families. And that's not the real world, unfortunately. And that's what I discovered when I came to Minneapolis, that we had young boys on the corners with their hats turned sideways and holding the women and children hostage. And so the chaplain and I, off and on for the last 20 years, have committed our lives to doing something about that. And we found that the best social service program in the world is a job. In fact, I want you to repeat after me. The best. All right, we're going to start over. The best social service program in the world is a job. Now, if you don't believe that, how many of us aspire to grow up and be unemployed? Okay. Or you hear people that complain about going to work on Monday morning. Have you ever faced a Monday where you didn't have a job to go to? And you know that feeling. Okay. There is something about work that is built into us, hardwired. And so that's where my life is. And I was tooling along and watching my favorite sport, presidential election. Even my 7-year-old could tell you who all the candidates were. Well, you know, I mean, it was like at the household, I dominated television. And even now, I mean, this thing is fascinating to watch unfold. And then came November 6th, and we had a decision. And a great euphoria went up across the land. But I was happy and at the same time troubled, because I think I saw it here on your page too, was like, what now? What next? Where to from here? We have a new president. People celebrate the fact that he's an African American, okay? But what difference will it make in the lives of people on the ground? Because while he may talk about changing it from business as usual in Washington, D.C., how about the State House, the Capitol in St. Paul, or the county seat here in Hennepin County, or City Hall in Minneapolis? There are forces that have cut the cake up and divided it, served it, and put the plates away even before the ingredients were put in the bowl. All right, now you just think about that for a minute. I heard you talk about the car, or when we talk about the environment, or when we talk about civil rights or gay rights. There are forces that have access that typically influence decision makers before we even get a chance to say anything. So I said, okay, this is going to be a great opportunity, but it's way too big for you to tackle. What do you need to do? So woke up at about 1 a.m. one night, and I was supposed to go on the radio the next morning. And this thing started off as, I was looking for jobs, so I'm going, housing, infrastructure, renewable energy. Housing, then I thought about the housing industry. It's in a depression, right? Don't go there. So then healthcare came out as an opportunity. And the acronym Healthcare, Infrastructure, and Renewable Energy, or H.I.R.E, which is a phonetic solution. Hire us, give us jobs. We want to work. Hire Minnesota. And in Minnesota, that means all Minnesotans. Now, if you hadn't noticed, I'm black. African American. All right? Y'all notice that? All right, that's not hard in Minnesota. All right, but last year, when the unemployment rate for white folks in this town was 4%, it was 14% down in the African American community in March of 2008. Now think about that. And now I just want you to think about it. 4% versus 14%. In this town, the poverty rates for whites was 11% on that date. But if you were Asian or African American, it was 45%. So literally 1 in every 2 African Americans that you meet that lives in this town lives in poverty. Now think about that. That's a tough situation. Okay, so we all got our causes and we're all moving about, but I want you to, if any of you ever lived abroad in another country, all right, you know what they say? Yes, American. All right, you're an American. And think about somebody coming from another planet. You know what they'll see? 1 people, 1 planet. You get that? All right, if they're here to destroy us, they're not going to worry about the fact that I'm black. You got to go. We want the planet, right? I mean, a fairly simple statement, but we find all these reasons to divide ourselves. And the more we divide ourselves, the less effective we are. Okay? And I really want to leave that with you today. The more we divide ourselves, the less effective we are. So if you talked to me a year ago about what was my major purpose in life, I would say that it was to put African American men to work so that they would not be perceived as a threat, but they could marry folks and take care of their children, and small boys will look up to them and not join gangs and become citizens. All right? That's what I would have told you a year ago. That's behind me now. It's bigger than that now. My number 1 thing today is to unite us all. And to unite us around 3 major issues, 3 major thoughts. The first, our environment. And as someone who developed asthma at 35 years of age, let me tell you something. It's no joke to do nothing but can't breathe, all right? I mean, just, you don't know, I walk in here and there's no carpet. Thank you, all right? Curtains, cats. Nobody got cats, right? I mean, these types of things it's taken over my life. Okay? So I don't want that for my 7-year-old daughter. That's important to me. I'm a gardener. So I like to, the earth and to grow things. And I don't want the rain to be full of acid rain. Remember that phenomenon, some of us? Also, I'm a fisherman. And so I want to be able to go to a river that doesn't stink and to be able to eat the food from the river. But when my good friend Will Steger talks about the situation that we're in today, and that's why I made him the co-chair. I reached out to him and asked him to join because we got to have a couple messages going here. One, a guy that's been out there for decades pushing the message that we got to save our planet. And it made for good talk at cocktail parties, and people coming together. But the problem was there was no policy to back it up, and there were no people. And now, coming straight to the front lines, a group of people who were ready to do the work. So if Will and the environmentalists of old want to save the planet, I got a whole bunch of people who want to do the work to save the planet. How about that?